Welcome back to another vlog. This is a bit more of a sit-down chat with myself than a vlog, so we're not going to be doing anything. Just a little bit of a life update on what's going on because the 2024 Rugby League season has officially finished, and I'm going to just sit down, give you a little bit of an update about everything that happened this year, and I suppose hold it as an account for myself, but for anyone else who has goals of being a professional athlete, and just talk a little bit about the highs and lows of a season. So I'm currently sat in a different location than usual. I'm not in the podcast studio. I am not in my house. I'm sort of in between houses at the minute. I'm in a house in York waiting on Bailey and Marto, the two other roommates, to return before I make my departure to a new place in Leeds. I will be bringing more updates on the channel on that. So I will be moving to Leeds. But before we dive into that, I think we should start back at the start of the 2024 season, or even just before that, to this time last year. So this time last year, I underwent a shoulder operation. I had a tear in my labrum on the left side. Geez, I had to think about that for a second. On the left side of my labrum, so through my left shoulder, I was playing all of the 2023 season with this tear. It was giving me agony after games. I was in a bad way. So I finally got it operated on. So I began the 2024 season in rehab. I was 16 weeks in total post-op before I started playing. And during that time, I was rehabbing. I did 75 hard, which I documented a bit on this channel as well. And inevitably, I made it back from round one. I missed a bit of the Challenge Cup and the 1895 Cup at the start of the year. But I was back fit and ready for round one. Played round one. And then in round two, I got a bad head knock, got knocked out cold, had to miss round three. And then off the back of that, I sort of fell off my form a little bit. I don't think, if we're being 100% honest, it was the best start to a season I had. I didn't get a good preseason under my belt. And then I was sort of playing catch-up off the back of the shoulder operation and the concussion. And I really don't think it was the best rugby I've played. I felt like I was losing my form. I was out of favour. And inevitably, that led to me in the middle of the season missing about 6 or 7 games, maybe even 8 games. I think it was about 7 games. In the middle of the season, I was just 18th man every single week. And that was a bit of a difficult spell this year in the 2024 season, because when you're 18th man, you're this close to playing. You're so close to playing, but at the same time, you're not. And you know yourself that you are the only cause of that due to your performances on the pitch. Now, there may be external factors, but when you internalize problems like that and things that go on the field, then you take away any opinion, and the only thing that matters is exactly what you are doing on the pitch and what you are executing. So I took a bit of time during that time to reflect inwards and sort of go, what can I work on myself? How can I develop more as a person and as a player? And during this time of the season, it was a dark and difficult time, and I'm happy to share that, because these are the things that within professional sports sometimes go overlooked. Like when you're not playing, when you're injured, they're dark and difficult times, and there are things going on off the pitch that were affecting me as well. Like my dog died during this time, and other things with relationships and things like that I'm open to talk about. But these things were all having an effect on my performance on the pitch, and I sort of just took that time to reflect inwards and just go, what got me to where I am? What got me to the performances? What got me to York? What got me to where I was when I was playing my best footy? And I just sort of started focusing on those, getting the little 1%ers, the daily habits right again, focusing on my nutrition, focusing on my sleep, my hydration, nailing everything in the gym, off the field, just focusing on that. And then obviously doing a little bit of personal development away from that as well. So that got me out of the rut. And if you are stuck in a rut, you need to find those little 1% daily wins that you can go on to get yourself out of the rut. Because at the end of the day, it's not the superstar play or the big massive thing that's going to get you from when you're stuck to getting out of it. It's actually just doing the little things right every single day. So I got out of that rut, found my form again within the season, and I starting again. So I went from not playing at all through stages of the 2024 season to back starting, back in some of the best form of my career, best form in a long time, because both 2023, obviously the start of the 2024 season, and in 2022 I underwent 2 major surgeries, one on my ankle and one on my shoulder, and I just feel alongside that with the head knocks, I really hadn't found the form that I wanted to up until this point in the season. And in 2024 the penny dropped, the compound effect was in full swing, and I started to find a little bit more form. And that's not trying to be arrogant or saying I was playing better, but I genuinely was, and it's only a result of the work that I was doing. And it doesn't mean I'm the complete package now. It just means that it's a reflection of what I did off the pitch to get myself back on the pitch. And I'm still on that growth curve, hopefully, and on a mission again to keep getting better. But that progression only comes from doing the little 1%ers right. But off the back of that, I started finding my form, started enjoying my footy as well. The team were winning again. We're really, really having a good time. And at one stage of the season with York this year, we were second or third from the bottom, and we ended up finishing fourth. The season, we finished off in fourth place, won our quarterfinal against Widnes, and almost beat Wakefield, who ended up inevitably winning the whole competition. So, sitting back and reflecting on the year, finishing fourth, putting it to the champions, and actually really, really feeling like the York performance and the York team that we had this year really, really outstanding. I think we punched above our weight with the injuries and the way we started the year. We really did, and that is a real credit to the group of lads that we have, and that's why we got to where we were. And I do feel like having a few lads come into form at the right time was part of that reason. But the season finished off on a real massive high, and that sort of brings us to where we are now. So off-season has just finished. I had an international against Scotland during the off-season as well, which we won 36-6. And now I have began, as of yesterday, I started pre-season at Bradford Bulls. I signed a 2-year contract at Bradford, and this is now the start of the next part of the journey. That is, of course, typical that an alarm would go off mid-podcast. So I'm going to just go flick that off and we'll resume. That was a random alarm. And I realised I said mid-podcast. It's not really a podcast, it's a YouTube video. But anyways, where was I? So I began pre-season yesterday at Bradford. We had a tough session to start off pre-season. And I just wanted to obviously dive into a little bit about that as well. So a new move. I'd been at York for the last 3 years. I spent 1 year on loan from Huddersfield and then signed up here permanently for 2 years. And then now I have another 2 years at Bradford, which is a bit of a life move and a bit of life change for me. And I think that anyone who plays professional sport will deal with the ebbs and flows, the highs and lows of the sport. And there's a lot of things that go on during the season and throughout your career that people don't really talk about and doesn't come to light, or people might speak about it afterwards. But moving team, like it's something that happens within all sport, and it's like sometimes you just have to go, what is the move for yourself? What is right for you? And you know what? Everyone's right until they're wrong, or everyone's wrong until they're right. Either or, do you know? So everyone who tells you that you're wrong for going, they're right until they're proven wrong, and vice versa. You're wrong in your move until you prove yourself right. So it's one of those ones that there's no right or wrong decision in the grand scheme of things. But as long as you believe wholeheartedly in the moment that you're doing the right thing, that is the right decision for yourself. And that's what I feel was the move for me. So closing ties, tying up everything at York, really. I had a great couple of years, enjoyed myself at York, made some friends for life, had a bit of involvement with the women's team as well. I was their assistant strength and conditioning coach this year, as it really ties in well with my business as well in terms of online coaching and my involvement with personal training and things like that. So I had a big involvement with them, and they managed to win the Women's Super League. So that was a massive bonus. And we finished the season on a high, although we didn't win the whole competition. My time at York came to a close on a massive high. We made the playoffs 3 years when I was at York, and now I'm looking forward to a new opportunity at Bradford. And what a new opportunity brings is a new chance to refocus and reset, like I did in the middle of last season, to really dial myself in. And that's the exciting thing about this new opportunity. You have a fresh, clean slate to rip into pre-season, to build some good habits. So that's exactly what the plan of attack is. Without going too much into what I'm going to do, I'll let the actions speak the words louder than what I'm going to say. But, it's really exciting. I feel like it's a good opportunity for me, and the move is right for me at this moment. And that brings me into the lifestyle changes, I guess. I'm moving to Leeds. So it's going to be a big change for myself in terms of moving to Leeds as well. Have a new opportunity, gonna have my own place, and then off the back of that, we're gonna just see how everything goes this year. I think it's time for a bit of growth personally, time for a bit of reflection. Reflection has been happening, it still continues to happen, and I'm not the complete product yet either. And I think that's why sometimes it's good to just vent, open up, because what's the point in having this channel if I'm not sharing the journey with people like myself who might be in the same shoes as me, or someone who's completely different to me, or is just interested in the journey. I think that no matter what you do, You're going to have nerves. You're going to have hesitancy. But you have to go all in with your moves. And that's why I'm so excited about this move about Bradford becoming a Bull. It's a legendary club. And I think that's the best way to look at it. It's an opportunity for me to be the best version of myself. And that's the excitement. That is the exciting thing. And I think that's the rugby league journey and the journey of professional sport is you don't always know what is ahead, but all you know is the process that got you to where you are. And you have to be hopeful that if you continue doing the right things and working as hard as you possibly can, that process and that growth curve shall continue forward. So, yeah, I think I did an honest reflection video probably midway through the season and I posted it on the channel. And I probably wasn't in the headspace that I am in now. I probably feel like during the season I was really down. I was thinking real negative thoughts. And whereas now I feel like I'm in more of a positive mindset towards my footy and towards developing and growing as a person. Because the year's been absolutely wild. There's been highs and lows. There's been plenty of drama, plenty of things that you could dive into and go, geez, that's the reason why things weren't great. But all that is an excuse. So I suppose the next part of the journey begins now at Bradford. And I'm really excited to get going. But if you want to follow along, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications on, and I will keep you updated on pre-season and the life of a professional rugby league player. Thanks for watching.